Good Saturday afternoon to you. This is Roger Hill from Wuthering Heights. This is the VELCO Weather Hazards Outlook. This is valid the rest of today, Saturday, through next Friday, September the 26th. We're looking at the current surface charts here, and area of low pressure tracking through Quebec will tighten up the pressure gradient and will also swing a cold front through, and it'll combine with another weather system that will work up the coast, and most of its precipitation will be out to sea, but there will be some interplay between the cold front that will be working in across parts of the St. Lawrence River Valley, eventually into Vermont during the day on Sunday, and some precipitation that will probably sneak in along the U.S., the New England coastal areas, and this from a sort of subtropical area of low pressure that we'll be monitoring. No real concerns for utilities, however, we have a couple issues. First of all, we have some gradient winds that are below thresholds or near thresholds. This is blowing across northwest Vermont here in the Champlain Valley, and there has been wind gusts as high as just about 40 miles per hour in Burlington, and these winds kind of channel up through the Champlain Valley area, and you can see the wind flow here being a little bit stronger. And what's going to end up happening is these winds will probably be at their height during the day today, Saturday, and then back off. I'm not expecting any winds to be strong enough to cause utility issues. And the second issue is some thunderstorm activity that will move in on embedded within some rain showers. It looks like for Sunday afternoon. This is not a big deal, but you can see some thunderstorm activity developing across parts of Ontario. This first main wave moves off to the north and east, and then as the front stretches across Vermont, it could trigger a few isolated embedded thunderstorms, relatively weak. And for the next 7 days, this is precipitation water and does show a plume of moisture working into the green there as it works into Vermont. You might notice that little squeeze effect with the heavier moisture coming in off the coast. It combines with the cold front for a time, and then things dry out as high pressure begins to build into the region. This is valid again on Tuesday morning here. And this area of higher pressure will build in and generally bring a real nice period of extended dry weather for us. You can see that it basically gets squashed across our region here, southern New England, with a little bit of moisture starting to work in. That's not until along about Saturday afternoon and evening next weekend. And yet another area of higher pressure builds in with very dry conditions. And also it looks like a pretty good cool down as that takes place for the early to mid part of next. And here is surface pressures along with precipitation projected by the European model. And we'll run these. This is currently Saturday morning, so as we go closer in time here during the afternoon, you can see a pretty good pressure gradient still into this evening, and then it loosens up, it looks like, as a bulk of the secondary low moves off the coast, and then the cold front that moves on through across the region Sunday afternoon, lingering showers during the day on Monday, and then that eventually wipes out. There's a second little disturbance that kind of drops in for Tuesday afternoon with limited precipitation. Once that goes on by, high pressure will build in for the rest of the week, 1029 millibars here, and temperature is pretty cold up to the north, but not as cold to the south, so we're not expecting any frost as it looks right now. You can see this area of higher pressure elongating. Now we're looking at Thursday morning and 1034 millibar high, pretty strong one, extending way back all the way across a good section of the country. And then eventually what we're going to see is another weather system drop back into the region with a little bit of added moisture coming in from Quebec. That'll happen in on Saturday. But it looks like dry conditions right into probably about Saturday afternoon. Overall, net dry conditions. And here's the European model total rainfall. You can see relatively dry conditions until we get into Sunday afternoon and into Monday. Not a heck of a lot of precipitation forecast. Again, we're talking pretty limited here, under around a quarter inch or a little bit less. And then northern areas start to pick up a little bit more rainfall. Now, as we head later in the week, a little bit more precip indicated across parts of Quebec, but you can see as we head into Friday, Thursday, and Friday, the main area of precipitation is way off the coast here with some subtropical moisture. Again, conditions will prevail. Very, very dry with limited amounts of rainfall for the next even 10 days here for most of Vermont. Okay. Motherfucker. NSEP projections, it looks like for total precipitation, maybe 2 inches up around the St. Lawrence River Valley. Further southeast into Vermont, you're looking at between a ½ inch and a ¼ inch here. European model is a little bit drier, does not produce this amount of precipitation, so we'll see what happens. But this is the 7-day projection through Saturday morning. In terms of temperature, high temperature anomalies, this would be valid through Friday, Thursday night. And we're looking at near normal as temperatures go above and below normal, kind of averaging out. You can see a pretty good warm-up across good sections of Canada. This is going to be headed our way. And as we jump to the next map here, this is valid basically from Tuesday next week through the following Sunday. And you can see we're into a warming trend here and across a wide area of Canada. Temperatures averaging near or a little bit below normal for the southeast United States and southern U.S. And temperatures centered on Montpelier. This was valid Saturday morning. We can see a high temperature for Saturday, a low tonight, basically relatively warmer, 55 to 60. And the high temperature is nearing 75 degrees at Montpelier, suggested by the computer models. And then those temperatures make a slide gradual for the overnight low by Tuesday. So we're looking at cooler weather, and then a little bit of a cool down for the middle part of the week, and then incrementally in that warm, dry weather, we'll see diurnal ranges in temperature, but gradually we'll start to warm back up. It looks like trying to make a run towards 70 degrees as we head toward Thursday and Friday. So better weather around the corner along with very dry conditions. And looking at the tropics right now, there's not a whole lot of action going on. We have one disturbance that's moved off the west coast of Africa. This tropical wave has about a 10% chance of cyclone formation over the course of the next 48 hours or 2 days. And it may get out over more favorable locations here later in the week, something we'll have to watch. The other thing we're monitoring is this subtropical disturbance that's off the southeast U.S. coast, northeast of the Bahamas. It's going to generally take a track out to sea and bother nobody. And the general GFS ensembles show the one area of showers with the cold front. This is happening during Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening. There is some minor potential for isolated thunderstorms embedded within this cold frontal passage, and we're looking at very minimal amounts of precipitation. You can see thereafter depicted, as well as the European, not a whole lot going on with relatively dry weather. Here's one other quick look of the European temperature anomalies here. You can see for Sunday, we warm back up here a little bit, and we're going to be above normal in temperature. And then there comes the cold front. We cool on down to the middle part of the week. We'll be running around 10 to 15 degrees below normal in these green shades. And then as we head into, it looks like by Wednesday, Thursday, into Friday, we're looking at a bit of a warm-up off to the north and west of us, and that works in across the region. So it looks like next weekend we end up with another warm spell, and this is depicted through Saturday. So you can see well above normal. We're talking 10 to 15 degrees above normal again for next weekend. How do you like those apples? Roger Hill, Wuthering Heights.